My name is Julian West, and until last year, I thought betrayal came with warning signs, raised voices, arguments, suspicion. But betrayal, real betrayal, sometimes wears pearls, pours your wine, and kisses you on the cheek. I'm 29, a visual artist, mostly portrait work. I live in Seattle with my wife, Mira. Or I did. And this story isn't about love, at least not anymore. It's about seeing the truth, and what happens when the person trying to erase you smiles while doing it. Mira's mother, Celeste, always had a presence. Charming, elegant, the kind of woman who makes you feel underdressed just by walking into the room. I admired her at first. Then I feared her. Now, I study her like one of my unfinished paintings, with distance. From the beginning, she looked at me like I was borrowed time. Creative people are delicate, she'd say in front of others, her smile as tight as her jawline. I thought it was just her way of coping with losing control over her daughter. But things escalated. My art career took off last summer after a gallery deal in New York. Mira was supportive, or at least pretended to be. Celeste wasn't. She called it a fluke. Said real men had structure, not strokes of luck. It was at my birthday dinner that the shift happened. Celeste insisted on cooking, which was unusual. She never lifted a finger when Mira was growing up. This time she made everything herself, even poured my wine twice. The wine tasted off. Not spoiled, just different. Bitter. I didn't want to be rude, so I drank some. My stomach turned about an hour later. Mira said it was the seafood. I knew it wasn't. That night, sweating and nauseous, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Something in me had changed. Not just physically, mentally. A clarity. A shift from trust to calculation. A week earlier, I'd installed a camera in my home studio. One of my paintings had been tampered with, and I suspected one of my students. What I hadn't expected was Celeste showing up alone in the studio, holding a small bottle, and examining my water glasses. I reviewed footage for 3 days and finally saw it. Her in the kitchen, alone, pouring something from a tiny glass vial into the wine. My wine. She was calm, surgical. If you found camera footage of a family member trying to poison you, would you go to the police? Or wait for the perfect moment? Drop your answer below. I'm listening. I didn't tell Mira. Not yet. I needed more. So I kept acting normal, visiting Celeste, listening to her passive-aggressive digs. All the while I was recording. In private, I documented everything. I ran a lab test on the wine glass, digoxin, a powerful cardiac poison in the wrong dose. Not enough to kill, just enough to damage. I started collecting everything. Voice memos, emails, odd texts she'd sent Mira. Even footage of her inspecting my studio's water supply, lifting the lids of the paint canisters. Why? Because this wasn't just about me. She had done this before. I invited them both to dinner, Mira and Celeste, told them it was a peace offering. I cooked, poured the wine, made sure everything looked warm, innocent, controlled. I connected my laptop to the TV, told them I had something to share, then hit play. The footage played in silence. Celeste pouring the vial into my wine, footage of her checking my studio, a clip of her quietly saying, "He's not strong enough for you, Mira." Mira gasped. Celeste went pale, then composed herself. "This is edited," she said. "You're paranoid." I pulled out the lab report. "Tell me this is edited too." Mira's hands shook. Her mother turned to her. "He's setting us up." "No," Mira whispered. "You did this. You've always done this." Celeste stood and left. No apology, no fear, just silence. That was the last time she entered our home. Have you ever uncovered someone's mask so completely that they couldn't even fake an excuse? Tell your story. You're not alone. The next few weeks were quiet. Mira and I barely spoke. Her world had cracked. I gave her space. Eventually, she asked to see all of it, every file, every message, the whole story. I handed her a USB. She watched it alone. We went to therapy. She apologized. Genuinely. I didn't forgive her that day, but I didn't walk away either. Celeste tried contacting us. Calls, letters, even showing up at my gallery once. Security escorted her out. That's when I knew. Silence is sometimes louder than rage. I transformed the footage into an art piece, Inheritance. A triptych. One frame of a wine glass, one of a mother's hand, and one of a man staring back at the viewer, unchanged. It sold for $22,000. The buyer didn't know the story, but they felt something in it. That was enough. We moved last winter, changed numbers. Mira is pregnant now. We're calling the baby Eden. Celeste still sends letters. We never open them. I archive them. Proof, not nostalgia. This story isn't about vengeance. It's about awareness. About waking up when you've been lulled by charm and routine. Would I do it differently? Number. I let her think she won, long enough to expose her completely. Because sometimes the smartest move is staying still, watching, waiting, until the lie reveals itself, slowly, beautifully, like paint cracking on canvas. I still make art, but now I teach too. A class called Narrative Through Truth, because stories matter, and the truth always leaves a mark. If this story hit home, don't just watch. Comment. Your silence might protect someone else's pain. Eden will grow up safe, loved, free from manipulation disguised as care. And me? I sleep well. Not because I won, but because I saw clearly and refused to look away. Betrayal doesn't have to destroy you. It can reveal you. And sometimes, that's exactly the revenge you need.